We all want to be different, extraordinary, and valuable on our business and career path. But what makes you stand out at your work or business place? What makes you different from the rest? It's all about knowing better. Listen to the Pep Talk podcast with Anike to create the right energy for your work and business.
Hello and welcome to the first edition of Pep Talk with Anike, the podcast. I feel so happy that the podcast is here already, and every Saturday an episode will drop. So please wish me luck, guys, and make sure you always listen. Okay, so the first thing we'll be talking about on Pep Talk, the podcast, would be how to reprogram your subconscious mind. Okay, I'm still thinking if we should do it in series or we should just have it, one at a time. Anyway, I'm going to make this in 2 episodes, and this would be how to reprogram your subconscious mind. Okay, so we're going to start with a quote right now, because usually when I'm on air of this podcast, I usually have a quote which runs for a month, but for the sake of this podcast, we'll have one quote for each episode. Okay, so this quote right now is by Elle Nightingale, and it says, whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality. So I'm going to take that again so you don't forget. Whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality. A quote by Elle Nightingale. And what I'm talking about today on the podcast is reprogramming your subconscious mind. Now, I'm going to say that your subconscious mind has immense power in actually controlling your life experiences, from the types of food that you eat to the actions that you take each day to the level of income that you earn, and even how you react to stressful situations. So how you react to some things at work has to do with your subconscious. Okay, the things that you take in, the things that people say to you, how you interpret it says a lot about your subconscious mind. Every bit of it is guided by your subconscious beliefs and interpretations. So what is the subconscious mind? If someone looks at you and say, okay, so what are you saying? What is the subconscious? Now, the subconscious is part of your mind that actually operates below your normal level of waking consciousness. Okay, and right now I'm using my conscious mind, all right, because I'm paying attention and I know what it is that I want to talk about on this podcast. So this is coming from my conscious mind. But sometimes I might just deviate and talk about some of my experiences. Now, that is not because I have it in my script. All right, it's because, okay, that's something that I have taken up into my subconscious and I'm bringing out to you. I kind of recall. So it is, your conscious is actually different from your subconscious. So right now I'm using my conscious mind to actually talk to you, to explain some things to you. That means that it is beneath something. And what is it beneath? My subconscious, which is based on my mental focus, because my subconscious is actually busily working behind the scene in bringing out information for you, absorbing some things and rejecting information. And I like to tell you that your mind is like I like to relate it with a foam in the kitchen, if you have something like that, because I have that at home. Now, like the foam in the kitchen, when you find water on a surface and you know that, okay, water is not supposed to be here. So you have your foam and then you put it on that water and then it takes the water in, okay? And if you don't squeeze the foam, the water will not leave that foam. It's going to stay there. So it's just like our minds right now. Some of the things that we take in, if you refuse to reject some things, it will stay in your subconscious. But if you squeeze it out, that means you don't want it there. So that means that the existing perception began forming even when you were little, from being a child right now to the position you are right now, probably in your organization or as a CEO. I mean, you're running your own business. So with every experience, your subconscious mind soaks in information like a sponge. So how does the old programming affect you now? How does it affect the way that you think? How does it affect the way you run your business? How does it affect the way you relate with your colleagues in your organization, with customers, with your boss? Now that you're working in an organization, of course, you know that you're not a child anymore and your parents are not just giving you money to feed and all of that. You have to make money for yourself. So there are some things you need to discard. There are some things that you've actually soaked up as a child where you feel like, oh, if people treat me like this is how I'm going to react. If people do this to me, this is how I'm going to react. I think that is something that you need to work on. Now, remember that all the information that you gather is actually stored below your level of conscious awareness. And this is the only time you become aware of it, when it limits your progress. So some things that you have been carrying from when you were a child, as you grow, it keeps growing with you. It might, in a way, limit your progress in actually creating a balanced, successful, and productive life. So you need to ask yourself this question. Have I been able to achieve a goal? Or do I keep limiting myself? Do I keep telling myself I cannot do it? It is important for you to know that you are not defective or doomed if you fail, no matter what you do. I like to say it, when you fail, try to get yourself back up and then ask yourself this question: what can I do better? Because it is cool to fail. As much as you don't like to hear it, it is cool to fail, because it is from the experiences you pick from your failure, you'd understand that, okay, you need to do better to actually get the win that you are looking for. So I have another excellent news for you about feeding your subconscious. You can achieve just about anything if you first take the time to reprogram your subconscious mind. You can do about anything that you want in your organization, with your business. Now, don't forget that pep talk, you keep hearing that. I keep mentioning career, business, and all of that. Pep talk is just about your business. It is about your career. So that is it for you to do better on your business and career path. So how do you reprogram your subconscious mind? How do you reprogram that? Now, there are different ways that you can do this. There are different ways that you can overwrite the limiting or damaging messages that are actually stored in your subconscious mind. All right, you could work simultaneously with all the strategies I'm going to give you, or you could pick one or two methods that would work for you and then see if you would do better in your organization or in your business place. The first method I'm going to talk about is environmental influences, and I will tell you more about this when I come back from this break.
It's the Pep Talk podcast with Anike.
Okay, thanks for staying with me on Pep Talk, the podcast with Anike, of course. And this new episode actually will drop every Saturday. So please make sure you keep listening. Make sure you keep supporting. I sincerely do appreciate your support. Now, before I went on that break, I talked about methods that you can use in changing ways you view life, reprogramming your subconscious mind. And the first method that I'm going to talk about, like I said, is environmental influences. Now, what does this mean? Now, have you ever considered the effect of your environment on your subconscious mind? It says a lot. And I'm a radio presenter, for some of you that don't know that already. Like, I'm a presenter, and I've heard things like, see, if you don't go out to actually experience new things, to see new things, you might not be able to keep your listeners informed the way you want them to be informed. I was having a conversation with a friend, I think it was last weekend, and she was actually telling me that, how do you want your listener to view the world if you are not even seeing the world? Because sometimes when people listen to presenters on radio, they want to view the world through your own eyes. So you're like their eyes and they want to see through your sight. So environmental influences would say a lot. If you're open to new things, it's going to say a lot with the way you relate with people. And I'm going to relate this to Big Brother Niger. Of course, I know that's trending right now. And I know that Lekon is actually almost everyone's fave. And Lekon is quite intelligent, I must say, because everyone is talking about it. Even I saw something where I think it was Nengi that actually told him that she admires him for being so intelligent because it can actually fit into any form of conversation. So if you're not open-minded, if you don't look around for information, you might not be able to get it. And it might make you stagnant. It will make you stagnant in your business. It could make your career stagnant as well. So if you've considered the effect of your environment on your subconscious mind, then it's so going to help you. Remember that your subconscious mind is absorbing information constantly and drawing conclusions and forming beliefs based on that information. So if your daily environment is filled with negativity and strife, then imagine what kinds of messages are being absorbed into your mind. So your first action is to strictly limit the negativity you're exposed to from this moment on. Okay? Avoid watching things, avoid hearing things that could affect you on your job. Avoid watching things, listening to things that would affect your relationship with your customers. So instead, try to seek out positive information that would even help you grow on your job, that would help your business grow as well. Spend most of your time with positive and successful people, especially your colleagues. Okay? Over time, you'd find that more encouraging messages are being absorbed into your mind, which will alter the way you see yourself, the way you see your journey, and your potential. Okay, so that's it today for the first episode of Pep Talk with Anike, the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Now, don't forget that it drops every Saturday. So it's going to be a Saturday thing, guys. So please keep listening. Help me share. Thank you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye. Hey there, thank you so much for listening to my random thoughts on how to do better on your business and career path. Don't be a stranger.